Hey everybody, I'm here today to make a video of myself cutting up this tree stump into many pieces. Now, as you can see right here, I have basically removed the tree stump from its position in the dirt. So I'll just kick it a little bit so that you can see that it is completely freed up. So as you can see right here, the tree stump is completely freed up, but it is way too heavy for me to move. So I am going to use this electric chainsaw to cut up the tree stump into multiple pieces, and that way I will be able to move the individual pieces because they will be much smaller and lighter. So I'm going to try and do this with as few cuts as possible, but I also know that that is not a very powerful chainsaw, so I won't be able to just slice right through the tree stump. I'm going to have to cut it up into many small pieces. But even with that being said, I will try and make as few cuts as possible and limit the work as much as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera down on the tripod and film myself doing this. Alright, so I have been basically hacking away at the back of the tree stump, and I'm just going to try and get this top part off first, and then once I get the top part off, I'm going to start working my way along the bottom until I have one piece or many pieces that can be moved easily. Now, because the chainsaw isn't very powerful, I have literally been just getting off little chips. I've been pretty much using a mixture of the chainsaw and the crowbar to get little chips off of the stump and the trunk. So I'm just going to keep doing that, and basically I'm only filming part of it because it is taking a very long time and I don't want to film the entire process. Instead, I will just film parts and bring it all together because you don't have to see every single cut. I just want you to see the majority of the work being done. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera down once again and continue working my way through this top portion. Okay, so I have just finished cutting off the top of the tree stump, and I basically cut off what was the bottom of the trunk. Now I'm going to sweep off all of this wood the sawdust and wood trimmings, and I'm going to start working my way vertically along the edges of this. And the goal is to get it down to a size and weight that will allow me to be able to carry it out of the hole that it's in. So I'm going to go ahead and sweep off all of this wood, sawdust and wood trimmings, and then I'm going to work my way vertically along the bottom of the tree stump. And I'm just going to trim off all the sides, and hopefully I will be able to carry it once I'm finished trimming it. So I originally thought that I had cut all of the roots free from the tree stump. So basically I thought that there were no roots holding down the tree stump to the ground. But now that I am cutting off the side over here, I realized that I missed one of the roots. So I'm going to finish cutting off this side, and that will free the tree stump from the ground, and that will also ensure that all of the roots have been cut. And basically that will make it feel a bit lighter. It won't actually be that much lighter because I'm only cutting off a portion, a small portion, but it will feel lighter because there will be nothing holding it to the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting off that portion right there, and once I have cut that portion off, that will release it from the ground completely. Okay, so I trimmed the sides of the stump a little bit more, and I freed up this side from the root that was holding it down. And as you can see, I'm making some progress because it is light enough that I can really push it far with my foot, but it's still, I mean, I really could move it if I had a person helping me, but I don't want to strain myself, and I don't have anyone to help me right now. So I'm just going to trim it a little bit more, and then I should be able to lift or roll it out of the hole. Alright, so I have trimmed it a little bit more, and I have also realized that the blade on my chainsaw is starting to get dull. So the chainsaw isn't doing a good job at cutting through the wood anymore. So I'm going to try and move this tree stump out. And once again, I have trimmed off the top, and I have trimmed off quite a bit of the sides of the tree stump. So I'm going to try and move it out of the hole. Okay, so I have finished moving the tree stump out of that hole, and I basically had to trim it. So I had to trim off parts of the tree stump, and that allowed me to, well, trim it and also cut out the one root that was holding it down in place that I didn't know was there. And after I trimmed it and cut out the root, that allowed me to move it out of the hole because it was fully released from the ground and it was light enough to push with my feet and my hands. And now that I have pulled it out of the hole, basically I'm going to put it on a dolly and bring it to a friend's house, and that friend has a log splitter, so he will be using that to split this up. And he also has a more powerful chainsaw, so if the log splitter doesn't work, he can always just use his gas-powered chainsaw to cut it into smaller pieces to use for firewood and so forth. And that's basically it. I just wanted to make this video to show you the process of myself cutting off pieces of this tree stump and removing that last root, so cutting off that final root and taking that tree stump and moving it out of the hole. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.